We recently reviewed the highly anticipated Galaxy Note 3 twice, and we loved it both times, but how is its larger sibling? Let's find out. I'm Taylor Martin, this is Pocketnow, and this is our full review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. Samsung, once again, has managed to trim the physical footprint of its flagship device, but thankfully not at the expense of specifications. The Note 10.1 2014 edition is quite small in comparison to its like-sized counterparts, 243.1mm wide, 171.4mm tall, and 7.9mm thick. It also hits the scales at an impressive 540 grams. There's much to be said for how great and meticulous Samsung is when it comes to conserving and making the absolute most of every last bit of space. The outer shell of the Galaxy Note 10.1 is nice. Well, as nice as a device made almost entirely of plastic can be. Like the smaller Galaxy Note 3, the Note 10.1 was the recipient of a refreshed design. The trim is lined as to resemble the pages of a closed notebook, and the backside is covered in a faux leather plastic which offers a nice amount of grip. But like the white model Note 3, the backside is less tacky than we'd prefer. To no surprise, the face bears the navigation button pattern we can't help but feel is out of place on a 10-inch tablet. It encourages landscape use and makes the tablet admittedly awkward to use in any other orientation, and that's unfortunate. But the internals are certainly nothing to scoff at. The 2014 edition Galaxy Note 10.1 comes with some of the best specifications we've ever seen in a tablet. It's powered by Samsung's in-house Exynos Octa chipset, two quad-core CPUs which work together, one clocked at 1.9 GHz and the other at 1.3. It has 3GB of RAM, an 8-megapixel camera, and a 31 Wh/, 8220 mAh battery. We have the 32GB model on hand, though it also comes in 16 and 64GB capacities, with the ability to expand via microSD. The display is one of the best looking displays we've ever had the pleasure of using. At 10.1 inches and a resolution of 2560 by 1600 pixels, it bears an impressive density of 299 pixels per inch. It's similar to the Nexus 10 display in that it's unbelievably sharp, yet this panel builds on all the shortcomings of last year's extra high resolution display. The super clear LCD on the Note 10.1 provides vibrant colors, wide viewing angles, passable contrast and black levels, and it's incredibly bright. In fact, we'll venture to say the display is the absolute best part of this tablet. Period. The other key piece of hardware in this tablet is the S Pen. Love it or hate it, there's no denying the 2013 S Pen is a marked improvement over older S Pens. The rubberized tip provides a more natural friction when writing. The shape makes it easier to hold, it's easier to sheath considering it can be inserted in either orientation, and the notch on its butt end makes it easier to find without too much fiddling around. Put simply, the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition is the best tablet hardware we've seen out of Samsung's Android tablet lineup. The internals are impressive and the design has greatly improved. Unfortunately, there's still a significant gap between this hardware and the tablet hardware we've seen out of competing firms, such as ASUS or Apple. In many ways, the software experience has been enhanced as well, but there's certainly room for even more improvement. This year's Note 10.1 comes with Android 4.3 out of the box. That means it brings support for Bluetooth Low Energy, Trim, and OpenGL ES 3.0. But Samsung's skin has once again been slapped atop Google's firmware and squandered some of Android 4.3's standout features. For instance, multi-user support, an Android 4.2 feature, is completely absent. Word has it this particular feature will be included in a future update, but we wouldn't suggest holding your breath. While TouchWiz nullifies some of Android's stock value adds, it brings a handful of its own, most of which are less useful than Samsung would have us believe. Smart Stay, Smart Rotate, Smart Pause, and Smart Scroll are all present, as well as many motion controls. Chat On, Knox, S-Translator, S-Voice, S-Note, and many of Samsung's other applications come pre-installed too. And, of course, Samsung's content libraries, Samsung Hub, and Samsung Apps are available with their comparatively sparse offerings. If we were to pick the absolute worst part of the TouchWiz experience on the latest Note 10.1, however, it would have to be a toss-up between the settings application, a confusing combination of tabs and a two-pane view, and the notification shade. For Samsung to have gone the extra mile to make full use of the 10-inch display, the full-screen notification shade is a major oversight. That said, there are a few software features which more than make up for the unnecessary bloat. First, multi-window. The list of compatible applications is sparse without some hackery, but it's growing, slowly but surely. And Samsung has added two very useful tricks to the multi-window experience: saved pairs of applications and the ability to drag and drop data between windows. The other is Air Command, which is accessed by long pressing the S Pen button and hovering it over the display. This reveals Action Memo, Scrapbooker, ScreenWrite, S Finder, and Pen Window, the last two being the most compelling and useful. Pairing pen window with multi-window is a true testament to the Note 10.1's utility over any other Android tablet. This combination allows you to run upwards of 6 applications at once if you so wish. This is something no other Android tablet can do at all. So sure, the software has the very same flaws every recent Android device from Samsung has had, but matters could certainly be worse for this tablet. Performance is where this review diverts a bit. We'd like to say the Note 10.1 performs incredibly well, but while it performs great the majority of the time, the lag and stutters are impossible to overlook. At times, the tablet would freeze while opening an application, especially when using multi-window. Or even more simple things, like having a pen window open and flicking through home screens. Eventually the tablet catches up and things begin to smooth out. But performance issues like these should not exist on a tablet this powerful. We can't help but feel the optimization, or lack thereof, of the Exynos Octa chip is to blame. The global Note 3 unit suffered from similar issues, while the Snapdragon 800 bearing Note 3 did not. Its performance and benchmarks is passable, yet nothing terribly mind-blowing, and its gaming performance paired with the gorgeous display is great. One of the best we've ever experienced. The side-facing speakers add to that gaming experience. They're surprisingly loud, and while they're not quite as tinny as we expected, they're easily muffled. Their placement is admittedly not the best, and no, they're not the best speakers, but they're passable. Battery performance while in use is impressive. We were unable to kill the battery in a single day, even through rather heavy usage patterns, pulling a handful of social accounts, 3 Gmail accounts, web browsing, gaming, downloading apps, and even benchmarking. We averaged about 2 full days per charge, but it can't go without saying that the standby is not great. The tablet dropped between 10 or 20% over a single night. This, however, was less painful with the power saver mode enabled. The camera performance, as with any tablet, isn't worth getting excited over either. The 8-megapixel camera on the backside of the Note 10.1 is mediocre at best. Images lack proper saturation, detail, contrast, and err on the cool side. It will work in a pinch for stills and 1080p video, but there's a great chance your smartphone will take better pictures. So where does that leave us? Well, with a high-powered Android tablet with a ton of value proposition, but it does nothing to fight the long-lasting stigma of poor-performing Android tablets. With Project Butter and chipsets which seem to have very little trouble powering high-end smartphones and tablets through the worst abuse you can throw at them, even occasional freezing and lag is unacceptable on a premium tablet that retails for $550. Put simply, if you can deal with the occasional performance hiccup in exchange for the most advanced experience on an Android tablet to date, you can't go wrong with the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. Else, maybe you should stick to a stock Android tablet, or save up for the Snapdragon 800 powered LTE Note 10.1. And for that, we give the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition an 8.7 out of 10. That's going to wrap up this review. If you enjoyed it and found it helpful, be sure to click the thumbs up button below and comment if you have a question or a suggestion. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one in the future, and find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus at Pocketnow. I'm Taylor Martin. You can find me on Twitter at CasperTech, and I will see you next time.